Hello everyone, it's Saturday! Yay! I hope everybody's having a fabulous weekend so far. And to continue on with our practice, today we're practicing the law of Dharma. Dharma is the Sanskrit word for purpose, life purpose. So if you remember from last week, when we talked about this law, we talked about the fact that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. It's not reverse. It's not that we're physical beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a physical experience. So today's focus and practice of today's law is getting in touch with who we are on the inside, who we are, what our essence is. That's the work of today. In addition to that, we want to give our attention to our special talents and abilities, the gifts that we were born with. We all have them, and when we can leverage them, when we can identify them and leverage them to execute and become our highest self, that's when we're actually accomplishing our purpose. Now, the third component of that, which helps us to really know who we are and why we're here, is how do I best serve myself with these special gifts and talents and knowing who I am, and how do I best serve other people? So in a nutshell, that's what Dharma is all about. Now, if you remember from yesterday, we talked about detachment. We talked about detaching from old paradigms. We talked about detaching from old belief systems. Well, to do some of today's work, why don't we try something new? Today is all about getting to know who we are on the inside, which is, it's worthy of our attention for sure, because most people are, I don't believe, or at least the people that I've bumped into on my journey, are not living their life on purpose. They feel like they don't have that special meaning about their life. And this is what today's work is all about. So if it's all about figuring that out, who I am, what do I want, and how do I best serve myself and others, those were the three soul questions that we talked about last week. If that's what it's about, and it is, then and it's also about the special talents and gifts that I've been given, I need to do the work of finding what those things are. So if I don't know them off the top of my head, what are my special gifts and talents, today's the day that we want to be thinking about those things. Today's the day, if we know what some of them are, put them into practice. Maybe if we don't know what they are, try something new. Just do something different. Try painting, for example, or try drawing, or try to tap into your creative side, whatever that may be. Maybe you want to tap into more of your physical, athletic ability. Could be canoeing, could be running, could be doing a sport you never participated in. Try something new and see how that resonates with you. Does it work? Do you like it? Do you lose time? Was it so much fun that you just hours went by and you couldn't believe it? That's what we're looking for. Okay, those are the things that we want to explore about ourselves. And Saturday, when we practice the law of Dharma, that's the day that we really want to do it. Now, speaking to all of you, for those of you who don't or have not yet identified what your true purpose is and who you are on the inside, I'm going to share with you, it is so worthy of the work. I have spent a fair amount of my life figuring out all of these things, who I am, what's most important to me, what are my special gifts and talents, and leveraging those things to live my life and execute my purpose. Now, if you remember, on Thursday, when we were talking about desire and intention, I shared with you the fact that when I was graduating from high school, I had three different interests: business, teaching, and psychology. Well, from a 17-year-old's perspective, those are three different areas of discipline to study. And you know the story, if you watch the video, I was talked into studying business, which led me on a path that I just kind of followed based on different desires and criteria. Well, as I continued on my path and started incorporating different things, because ultimately at the end of the day, I did go back to school and get my master's degree in psychology. So I did satisfy that itch, that desire that I had when I was 17 years old, business, teaching, and psychology. I did go back to do that, and it served me beautifully. From that point, I kept thinking about how do I marry my two degrees, my undergraduate degree in business and my master's degree in psychology. And I kept thinking human resources. That was the most obvious answer. And yet, you know what? I couldn't get a job for free in HR. And I kept trying and I kept uncovering. And while I remained in the financial industry all of those years, and it was a lot of years, I was in that industry for 11 years, knowing that I didn't belong in that industry, knowing that it wasn't my passion, and yet doing everything that I could to bring about and leverage my natural gifts and abilities. So anytime there was a new hire, I volunteered to train them. Anytime they needed somebody to participate on a change initiative committee, I volunteered to be that person. Anytime there was an opportunity to participate in an event outside that had to do with learning and development, I volunteered. I took all of those opportunities and incorporated them into my work until I could figure out what it is that I wanted to do. And this continued for years, 11 to be exact, until one day I walked into a luncheon. I started to network and I walked into a luncheon and the speaker was from Dale Carnegie. At that moment, I don't know where everybody else was in the room. I was in Vegas. Ding, 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 ding. For me, the sign couldn't have been any more clear that that is how I was going to best leverage my gifts and abilities, my talents, my natural skills in a very organic way for me to begin to live my purpose. And that's exactly what happened. There were lots more details to the story, and yet that's the gist of it. So coming from a person who has done the work, who has spent the time thinking about who am I, what is it that I want, and how do I best serve myself and others, and then spending the time to think about where are my natural talents and abilities, where are my gifts, how do I leverage them to serve myself and to serve other people, and then remaining steadfast and keep continuing on, turning over every rock, incorporating every activity that I could possibly incorporate to satisfy my desires. Ultimately, the day presented itself where I recognized the signs and I was able to gracefully exit the financial industry and enter the learning and development industry. And I never looked back. So I encourage you to please do this work. If you truly want to live your purpose, if you truly want to be lit up on the inside, today's the day to give your full attention to these practices. Figuring out who you are, identifying your special gifts, and then asking yourself how to best serve yourself and other people. It'll be the work that will bring about the most joy. So try something new today. That's my advice. Today, do something different. Try something new. See where it takes you. Good luck today. I wish you an amazing day. And until tomorrow,